Hello my dear friends, hope all of you are doing well. Please do maintain all the COVID protocols for a better and healthier life. So today in this video, I will discuss on the topic called adiabatic or isentropic demagnetization. So without any further delay, let's begin. So the topic is isentropic or adiabatic demagnetization. The isentropic or adiabatic demagnetization is the process of removal of magnetic field from certain materials which helps to lower their temperature. The theory was proposed by Sir Peter Debye in 1926 and William Francis Giac in 1927 independently for a material of final temperature up to fraction of 1 Kelvin. There may be some material having some disorder due to its constituent particles, and this exists at the temperature of 4 Kelvin or below it. For example, like the paramagnetic salt, the one example is gadolinium sulfate. Its formula is Gd2SO4 and 8H2O. The gadolinium sulfate is a paramagnetic salt and it has the disorder in the spacing of the energy levels, where the spacing of the energy levels is due to the magnetic dipole and that are small compared to their thermal energy. So the dipoles occupy the energy levels randomly and oriented randomly in space. Now from the following discussion or from the analogous treatment that will help us to understand the better about this topic. So I will make some analogous discussion, like this is for the isothermal compression of the gas, where we apply some pressure and the entropy gets decreased, and it is analogous to the isothermal magnetization process, where the pressure is analogous to the applying magnetic field and the magnetic entropy gets decreased. The same here. Similarly, the process called adiabatic expansion, and where I remove the pressure and the temperature get decreased but the entropy remains constant. So this is analogous to the adiabatic demagnetization, where I remove the magnetic field and the temperature get decreased because the entropy is constant for this process but the temperature gets lowered. So the name of the process itself states that the energy will be unchanged through the demagnetization process, so it is called the isentropic demagnetization. The entropy will be unchanged, so it is called the isentropic demagnetization. Now from this I will make some discussion with the graph plot. Now you can see from this plot that this is the variation of the magnetic entropy with the temperature, with the presence of the magnetic field and in the absence of the magnetic field. So when H is equal to 0, so the magnetic dipoles are randomly oriented, so the magnetic entropy will vary in this fashion, and when the magnetic field is not 0, so the magnetic dipoles you can see here that are perfectly aligned in some specific direction, so the change of the magnetic entropy with temperature will be like this. Now the graph shows the variation of the magnetic entropy with the temperature of some paramagnetic substance in the presence or in the absence of the magnetic field. The vertical line AB, you can see from A to B, the vertical line shows the isothermal magnetization. AB is isothermal magnetization, and where the temperature does not change. The line parallel to the temperature axis from B to C, it is called the adiabatic demagnetization or isentropic demagnetization. So which is an isentropic process. Now the main working principle of this adiabatic demagnetization is the magnetocaloric effect. So the main principle relies on the fact of magnetocaloric effect. So what is this magnetocaloric effect? It is the coupling between the magnetic moment and the external magnetic field, which includes some structural transition of the material. The magnetic caloric effect, in the magnetic caloric effect we have some structural change of the material. So in the presence of the magnetic field, the energy levels are separated sharply with different energy, and the dipoles are closely aligned in the lowest level of the energy. Now if the magnetic field is applied while keeping the paramagnetic salt in contact with the helium bath, there will be transfer of the thermal energy to the bath. Now if we start to remove the magnetic field slowly, and as the process is adiabatic, no heat can flow back and the sample will get cooled. It is assumed that the dipoles remain trapped in their lower energy state and remains aligned. The temperature can be reduced from 0.3 Kelvin to 0.0015 Kelvin in this way. So now we can take a look at the experimental procedure. So you can see the experimental procedure here. So the paramagnetic substance is connected by a silk thread and placed in a chamber which is in close contact with the liquid helium bar. So you can see the paramagnetic substance here, it is connected with a silk thread and it is dipped in a closed chamber where the liquid helium is there of the temperature of 4 Kelvin. And the container containing the liquid helium is surrounded by another big vessel of containing liquid nitrogen of boiling point 77 Kelvin, which has boiling point of 77 Kelvin. The whole system is kept in an adiabatic flux so that the heat cannot flow in or out. The system is placed in between the two poles of a magnet. You can see there is two poles. One is the north pole of the south pole, and the system is placed in between the two magnets, and it is connected to the vacuum. So now you can see from the variation of the entropy with time. So now there are two plots also. So you can see this is the variation of the entropy with time. So for the effective cooling, the spin contribution of the entropy must be higher than the lattice contribution, but the total entropy remains constant. So you can see from this plot that this is the entropy versus time. So for the whole process, the entropy remains constant, this line, but you can see this is the lattice contribution is obviously must be lower than the spin part. After the magnetic field is removed, the spin entropy increases a little bit, whereas the entropy due to the lattice slightly decreases. You can see the spin entropy increases a little bit, but the entropy part for the lattice is slightly decreased with time. In this plot you can see that initially the temperature is due to from two different contribution. One is for the lattice part and another one is for the spin part. Before the removal of the field contribution, so before the removal of the field, you can see from this plot that the contribution in the temperature of the sample is coming from equally from both the lattice part and the spin part. So there is a single line. Before the removal of the field, you can see there is only single line. So the entropy, so it has two different contribution in the temperature. One is coming from the lattice, another one is coming from the spin. So they are equally contributing before the removal of the field. So this is the point where I remove the magnetic field. So now you can see that at the moment the magnetic field is removed, the temperature due to the spin part suddenly drops. You can see that there is a suddenly drop in the spin part because this is the spin part, but the lattice part decays slowly, so they separate. So after the removal of the magnetic field, they are two separate lines. After some time of removal of the magnetic field, both the part will start to contribute the same again. So suppose initially they were same, so after when I remove the magnetic field, they got separated. After some time also they are merging together and giving the same contribution for the temperature. To find the spin entropy of a system of n ions, so I need to find the spin entropy of a system of n ions, each of spin s. So, and we consider the temperature is much higher for some characterizing temperature due to the interaction. So the interaction energy is Kb delta, where I assume that I am taking the temperature which is very greater than this delta. So the system is disordered completely because it has some high entropy. So entropy means the disorderness of the system. So now if G is the number of the accessible states, so we can write the sigma is equal to Kb ln of G. So sigma is the entropy, measurement of the entropy. Now for each spin S, we have some 2s plus 1 states for the each ion. For the each spin S, we have the 2s plus 1 number of states for each ion. Then G has the value, the number of accessible states has the value of 2s plus 1 whole to the power n. If I put the value of G here, so the sigma becomes Kb ln of 2s plus 1 whole to the power n. It means n Kb ln of 2s plus 1. So the spin entropy is reduced by magnetic field if the lower levels gain in population, and the spin entropy is a function of the population distribution only. So here I am concluding my video. Friends, please do follow, like, share and subscribe our channel. Keep supporting and stay updated. Thank you.